everybody, welcome to the Wellbeing Show. My name is Dr. Ruth Mary Allen and I am super excited because today we're going to be talking all about mindfulness, and we have Bianca Rathgeb on the show. So welcome to the show, Bianca.
Hi Ruth, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me on the show. So just to introduce Bianca, she is a certified yoga and Pilates trainer. She's also a certified NLP and high performance coach, and she's a student of Tim Adams' methods. So really exciting. Tell us a bit about your story and how you got to where you are today.
So I was, as a kid, very interested in herbs and plants and medicine and wanted to become a doctor. So I put ticks out of people and researched that on my microscope, and I did potions of calendula and other herbs and collected that stuff. So I had this kind of direction in life, I thought, and then I studied IT and economics.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened. But I stayed there for 14 years. I was super fed up already in my study and at university. I hated it, but I pulled through. I worked in that job because it was the thing to do, and I would never quit that stuff. And somehow it was not enough for me. I did not like the IT projects. Some projects were closed and stopped because of the strategy changed, or it was not well done, or they did not have the funds or whatever. So I didn't have any results in my job, and started after I got a job offer in Switzerland. I started to do my first education because of being fed up, really, in Pilates. So I did first a Pilates education, then my first yoga education in the island of Corfu.
Wow.
From here, and from there, I don't know, I think I did my amateur piece in Australia, part of it. Another yoga education in Vienna, Virginia. Graphic recording facilitation here, so I did some graphical stuff too. And what else? Then the NLP coaching and master, the certified high performance coach. I don't know the sequence anymore, it was so much. And latest, I talked Tim Adams into educating me in his amazing method, because when I met him and saw the facts of his work, I incorporated that in my classes. So today I teach kind of a mixture of inner access, which is the method of Max Strom.
Okay.
Soft method. He says really it's breath initiated.
Okay.
So movement, really focus on the breath and mindfulness to calm people down in stressful environments and at work. Super doable. My oldest is 85 who can do all the stuff. And that mixed with Tim's 11-minute routine is super effective. So
brilliant.
That's one pillar of my work today. The other is coaching, and the third is graphic work. So I'm hired for companies to do a visual protocol of what's being said in keynote speeches, or I illustrated a book for our friend Britta about ADHD. So.
Wow, so a lady of many talents. So what would you say? On the Wellbeing Show, we talk about our emotional, mental, our physical, and our spiritual well-being. What does well-being really mean to you personally? Because you've really done a big switch from IT now and economics into really the well-being space. What does it mean to you?
So for me, it's a way to stay sane. As you can still see, maybe I had some cupping. So first thing I do really or take care of myself to handle these 3 jobs, because many people say, how do you do that? I'm exhausted with one job, and you do sometimes all three in a week or even in a day. I had it sometimes teaching, graphic recording, coaching, or other way around. And I am never ill since I'm self-employed, never. I'm more resilient, more energized.
Yeah.
So one thing for sure is weekly massages for me.
Okay.
I do, of course, the breath work and the meditation.
Yeah.
I do tapping, especially for blocks. I realized that quite recently when I had a really rough months and existential fear, what comes with the self-employment sometimes too, and spending too many educations in the US. But I really leveled up my self-care game. So I did more breathing to calm down and release emotional stress. I did a lot of tapping against these limiting beliefs and money stories, to clear out some debt, and to feel safe.
What would you, for those that don't know, how would you describe tapping? What is tapping?
It's also called the emotional freedom technique, I think.
Okay.
And it's really tapping on certain points on top of your head, eye, and between nose and lip, under lip and chest, and other points. So it depends which style you do. And with that, normally you go from a negative, like one thing is the debt. You acknowledge you have the debt, you are in a situation to own it, and to say, for example, of course, I have this debt, and of course I'm worried. And then you go to the other thing, to feel more at ease, to feel better, to calm down, or even to go, there's some tapping, you find tons of it in YouTube. So what I do is a lot of YouTube videos.
Sure.
And a fun one is, for example, tapping for $50,000. So I do that. It's a very funny one, and she doesn't take it so serious. And you feel lighter. For me, it really shifted in the course of a week, how I felt super worried, super exhausted, and like curling up in a ball and crying in my room, to seeing my accounts that are still not super full, but to feel okay with that and be able to work to do some action against.
Okay. So does it help? Does it help you really focus on what's important to move yourself forward? Does it kind of release the stress and the tension? Is that what it really helps to do?
I would say so. This kind of tapping I did was really aimed towards that, to have more lightness and calm down and get out of this being myopic or really into this fear and anxiety. And sometimes it comes with a release. I realized one where even tears came up, and you have like bodily sensations to it. It is really powerful.
And are there specific regions that you tap in your body that are better depending on where your stress, where you feel tension in your body from stress? Because I know we get a lot of stress on our shoulders quite often if we're really tense and we're worried about stuff. Do you have any recommendations for people in terms of where they could get the most benefit from the tapping if they've got fears about financial fears, for example, or worries about or something particular?
I'm not an expert in tapping, so I use the tappings in the internet, so to speak. With the tension thing, though, there are many ways you can do. What is a really effective one for my students with an office job and poor posture all day, like the Tyrannosaurus, do that all the day, it's really hard on your shoulders and neck. So what we do a lot is this little stretch where you and press a little against it with the other arm. Your head is super straight, and you do that for a few breaths only, and
Okay.
already help to get some release there. So this is a super easy one.
Mm-hmm.
And the one for the area between your shoulder blades is this,
Yeah.
sometimes called the eagle, or
Okay.
like an elephant. So
Okay.
pull the elbows together and up. You should feel some stretch between.
Yeah, I can feel that definitely.
Yeah. So that is what I do almost in every class
Okay.
with that. And for the legs is also the backside of the leg stretches, like hamstring stretches, all that can help to calm down even, because there is some meridian going there to help with the relaxation. So,
Okay.
and it helps to sleep. So if you have the issue with not, or having so many thoughts in the evening in your on your mind, and you want to unwind, it
Yeah.
helps to put the legs up the wall. So really,
Okay.
your buttocks is really close to a wall.
Okay.
Go as close to the wall as you can, and
Yeah.
you lay there for 7 or more minutes.
Okay.
And that triggers a relaxation too. So I do that a lot when I'm super going crazy or monkey mind. Of course, breathing helps.
Yeah.
And if you have still a lot on your mind, of course, it helps to do a journaling right before bed.
Yeah.
With an emotional aspect to it.
Okay.
Not only doing the to-do lists, what I have to think of tomorrow, but more like what tripped me off today, what
Okay.
hurt me, what was I embarrassed about, or
Okay.
not feeling well or acknowledged or whatever.
Okay.
Really get the emotions out of
So how you felt during the day and get it out of your system and write it down, because we know from writing it down it really helps people release the tension from themselves.
Right. And sometimes it can even help some of my students that burn the stuff. If you have a lot of negative things happening to you, or feeling really heavy, for some it can be like a little ritual to burn the piece of paper.
Sure.
Or in the evening even.
Yeah, sure. So what really got you into mindfulness and meditation? What is a big transition from where you were to where you are? What really prompted you to go down that route?
It started, I think, in my teenage years. So after this phase with the herbs and potions and pulling ticks out of animals and people, I found a yoga book. I don't know where, somehow I picked it up and started to exercise yoga, because I was drawn, of course, to the exercises that were challenging.
Okay.
Looked interesting, like Cirque du Soleil style with a leg behind yours. So many people start, if they're healthy, they start with that. They really like the attractive positions and the challenge and all that. So I was like that too. But I also was attracted to the mystic powers of yoga, like the superpowers coming with yoga. And so I studied, or began to study, all I could find about yoga and meditation. And one, in school we had a project, you could get some extra credits in a separate study, and mine was about healing. And there I spoke about, I just found a paper last year when I cleaned up some stuff from moving out, and there it spoke about Tai Chi and yoga, how do you say, orthogenic training, something?
Orthogenic, I'm not sure.
Also something. So a lot of techniques I nowadays teach or use in my classes, and I did that in the age of 16, 18.
Wow.
Somewhere there. Wow. So that was there somehow. I lost it for a while. Then I became a normal student of it, doing yoga and Pilates and Tai Chi and saw Tai Chi and on all that stuff.
Wow.
And then I became a teacher. And nowadays my main clientele is really coming because of pain and anxiety, depression,
Okay.
sleep issues. So I don't have the super healthy students often, but
Okay.
people send from a doctor, physician, a spouse who's worried, or somebody saying, hey, go see Bianca, she can help you.
Great.
That's how I came into it. So for me, I didn't need it that much than my students need it, but nowadays I can use it pretty well because my life got a little tougher.
And what would you say to people who are suffering from anxiety, tension, depression, and they're looking for some kind of support solution to really help release some of that tension? What would you suggest them to go and do?
One thing that taught me Max was often depression is a lack of connection. So of course you have depression coming from brain chemistry and all that stuff, or even from your gut when the chemicals are not balanced well and all that stuff, enzymes missing and hormones. So of course you have that. But in our society nowadays, we're so socially connected in the internet, like
Absolutely.
but we're lonely.
And they're seeing that a lot more in younger people these days as well.
Yes, and if you compare to all the nice lives of people having and all that stuff, it even trips you more off. So you have to do in a way the counterintuitive thing what you would do. So not curling up like a ball in your room in the darkness, but going out. And this is especially what I did 3 weeks or more ago when it really hit me hard. My accounts, all my Swiss accounts were altogether, I think, $80. And I did not know how to pay rent, how to balance, how to get all the invoices solved.
Sure.
And I posted a picture about that because was also influenced me was this book, Daring Greatly.
Okay.
Speaking about really vulnerability and that shame and guilt are so powerful on us, especially if you're a perfectionist.
Sure.
It's so hard and it traps you so easily because you won't admit that you're in debt or that you're struggling. And I didn't tell my parents until a week ago when I'm there, and they still don't know the full scale of how dire my situation was. I asked my ex to borrow me money, not my parents, because I was so ashamed and I did not want to worry them. So one thing is really seek help, ask for help, and get connection. I met many friends in person. I have a little mastermind here in person, so like-minded people who get you is really cool. I got a lot of people reaching out to me after this post, offering me little coaching calls, little calls to catch up with me and get me ideas what I could do in my business. And with meditations, they had success with tappings or books or what helped them to pull themselves up and out of the situation. So I did a lot of self-work, really dealing with my limiting beliefs, my stories that I tell myself that I'm not good enough, that it's not worth it, that I will never have the success or whatever it is. And of course, a lot of guilt and shame. And I think I do punish myself for breaking up even because my problem started with the breakup and all that things we do. So coming back to what would you do? Seeking connection, I would really go for that. Asking for help and ideas to be able to think again. And from a tools and techniques perspective, what I did was more breathing. So there are certain ways you can breathe, either to get more energy or to calm you down and be able to focus and get more into a parasympathetic state. So as you know, you have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic or state. So it's either rest and digest or fight or flight. And if you're in sorrow, worries or fear, anxiety, your sympathetic, your fight or flight is quite high. So breathing helps to deal with that. Meditations of all sorts. I did guided meditations. I did object meditations, like focusing on either the petals of flower or a candle. Super calming if you focus on a burning candle in a dark room, like really before bed. Until your eyes well up with tears. And if not, after 1 and 2 minutes, just close your eyes and go to bed. After you blow out the candle, of course. Because it's a super, super calming effect too. I did the tapping for the topics, like for me, clearing out debt, and tapping for $50,000 and all that stuff. Or there's also a tapping I like very much, to stop stopping yourself. So really, there's a tapping in YouTube to find for everything or against everything. What else did I do? Working on your clarity, really writing down, journaling, getting a bit of a vision. Where do you want to go in the next 3 years? From there, 1 year, and from there, 90 days, maybe iterations, and then to get a plan. What is most important to move the needle for you and move you forward in the next week or today? And plan that out. And of course, for me, speaking of the money topic, it helped to get an overview of my financial situation, because what you also tend to is you ignore paperwork, you don't do the books or accounting, you kind of shut down or do the
close the curtains and hope it will go away.
And what I worked on was owning it. Really, I mean, only I can help myself in that situation. I put me in that stuff, so I have to get out of that. And a big discussion about victimhood. And of course, what I would say here is, if you own the problem, you can change it. If you feel like a victim of the situation, the environment, of other people, you have no hold or no grip onto the problem itself, and you cannot change your life and turn it around. Kind of that all together helped me. And of course, hot baths, massages, really self-care rituals of all sorts to feel at ease. And sometimes it can even be spending money for some luxury stuff or a cup of coffee, even when you should do a budget, because it otherwise you constrict yourself. You really make it even more dire. You always think about your money running out and constrict. And what you need in that case is more the expansion and opening up to receive in a, if you speak law of attraction or frequency or vibrancy. So you really have to open up and attract to what you want. Even when that sounds very esoteric in some ways, but it works for me.
And I know you said you've created a free download called the Island of Serenity, which is all about the 5 steps to self-care and self-love. Tell us a bit about that.
So I wanted to give the people who saw me briefly on stage or in podcasts and over the internet in some way, a little taste of what you can do quite easily to create a little island of serenity at home. The name came from a student of mine who was in a very dire situation last year, and we made a special deal, and she told me, thank you so much. this class once a week is my Island of Serenity. It helps me to endure my job, to stay calm with all the tasks, with all the worry about my family. She's the only breadwinner in the family, and doing a job she hates because she cannot do the job she loves until the situation is settled.
Okay.
And so it's easy ways to stretch, like I showed you. It's a little recap of those stretches. It has meditation, ways to begin, like meditation for dummies or for beginners.
Great.
What can you do? Because many people think if you start yoga, you have to believe in other gods and chant strange things and change your faith and all that, and become woo-woo, have incense and whatnot. So I tried to change that image a little and make meditation approachable for people, for everyone. I saw that in a little course we did in my studio. We did a trial meditation course. Really, each week I introduced them to other techniques.
Yeah.
Everybody something, and things that I thought are super esoteric, they loved, because it worked for them. For example, the mala, this beats like a rosary.
Okay. So
you can use that counting thing for keeping you on track, like really a abacus or something.
Yeah.
To know how many times you chanted or how many times you use an affirmation. And some people who were super stuck in their head were able to get out of that, because your meditation is kind of a way to get your mind busy.
Yeah.
To get you out of this monkey mind, and that helped.
Great.
And of course, it speaks about a little how you can do rituals at home, like a bath or walk in nature and other things. So a little booklet with ideas. What can you do? What is not? Some things cost, but what is an inexpensive way to stay sane at home, and how to implement that? Because you might have some ideas like, oh no, that's not for me. Nice booklet, Bianca, but you got time for that. So I deal a little with that, and how you might find some time, or how you can be smart about that.
And how can people download that then? Where can they get it? When is it available?
It's in the press, kind of.
That's fine.
So
is it a PDF download available?
PDF download, but it's in revision at the moment. So put it on my site, and you can provide them the link when you got it.
Brilliant. So finally, in terms of mindfulness and meditation, what one challenge would you set to the listeners to really help them with getting the clarity of mind and the mindfulness meditation and that calming?
So there are several ways you can do, of course. The first, what I did to track my meditation practice, start with that, because sometimes it's easy to get in mind how can you measure it. Put it in my journal, in my, how do you say that, in your daily calendar?
Yeah, so in your calendar or your journal, it's fine.
Yeah. So I put there a line or a column saying meditation, and I did a tick for each day I meditate.
Great.
So that would be how to track it. And the challenge would be, I would like you guys to find a meditation that resonates with you. It can be some ideas from my booklet or from the internet. It can be counting down. That's one of the easiest meditations, really counting down from 50 to 0. And 50 is even number, breathing out. 49 is breathing in. And if you lost count, you're bad, you have to restart. So find some way of meditation and do that for 30 days.
30 days, meditation, one that works for you.
Yes.
Brilliant. And track it.
I would track more than that. I know there's a thing with 21 days, but for most people, 21 is not enough.
Okay.
It really dials in around 50,
yeah.
60. So, of course, 60 would be better for all the type A and high achievers. Go for 60 upwards. But really find a doable way. Meditation should not be hurting you. Nowadays, my students come in class saying, can we skip the movement and go right into final relaxation, please? So it should be like that. You should be, oh my God, my meditation is up. I love that.
Yeah. And I love it too. I love doing it. I do it as part of, what's it called? Body balance at the end. I love to stay and just meditate. It's just brilliant.
And you can do it whenever works for your daily schedule. I like it in the morning to set and time your day, like part of the morning routine for you. But if morning is not your part of the day, do it before bed. To really set an intention for calm sleep.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can do fun meditations. You can meditate for love or for abundance or for tax returns. I don't know. There's everything. So find something maybe guided for beginners or an object you like. And just get into the game. And if you fell off the wagon one day, well, start again next day. You haven't lost until you really give up. Yeah, exactly. I really love that challenge, and I'm going to give it a go myself to do it every day for 30 days. Oh my God, I love that. So thanks so much, Bianca, for joining me on the Wellbeing Show with Dr. Ruth, which is all about taking the boo out of taboo. I love it. Thank you so much, Ruth. Thank you.